Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kira and today we are chatting about my November completed pages as well as my colouring plans for December. So let's have a look at my November colouring statistics, and just a little reminder that I did create a template for you to create your own Notion colouring journal, so you can download that template from my Ko-fi store, which I'll have linked down below. There's a tutorial on how to use it in my last completed pages video. Actually, before we head into my November statistics, let's have a look at how my colouring book collection is going. So, I think I had 6 uncoloured books last month, and now I only have 4, so that's definitely an improvement. We're narrowing it down slightly, but then I'm probably gonna have a lot of untouched books added to my colouring book collection soon because, you know, Christmas is coming up. But yeah, I'm fairly happy with how this is looking. I think we'd all like to have no untouched colouring books in our collection, but 4 isn't too bad. Alright, now let's go have a look at the November statistics. So here's how my 2024 overview is looking. As you can see, I coloured 7 pages in November, which brings my sum to 89 pages coloured in total right now for 2024. I had a colouring goal of colouring 90 pages in total this year, so I definitely think we're gonna hit that. I managed to tick off all of my plans for the month, so that's very exciting. As I said, I coloured 7 pages in total. I coloured in 7 books. And I currently have 1 whip on the go. That is a pretty standard colouring month for me, so I'm happy with how all that's looking. Now let's head into the completed pages. Alright, let's start off with the 1 whip I have from November, which is from Enchanted by melpomeni, chatzipanagiotou. This page would be familiar to you if you saw my watercolour background tutorial video. So I showed you how to create this background here with my Light Wish watercolor set. And then since that video, I've just gone in with my Ohuhu alcohol markers and done basing of all of the foreground elements. So I'd really tried to create that watercolor effect, but with my alcohol markers, and I feel like it turned out pretty well. I do want to add a little bit more variance with some white acrylic markers at the end, just, you know, to break up some of the green and blue, but it's looking really good so far. I'm really excited to colour the main sections of this page eventually. I feel like this is a great page for us Australians with the summer season just around the corner, or it will be here when you're watching this video. I don't think I'll get to colouring it in December though, just because I really want to focus on Christmas colouring. We only have so much time for those Christmas pages. So yeah, that's my 1 whip at the moment from Enchanted by melpomeni, chatzipanagiotou. And whilst I'm chatting about that watercolour tutorial video, I might as well show you the other 2 pages that I did in that video, but obviously I've gone in now and completed them. The first page is from my Tiny Forest colouring book by stajner. And it is this adorable page here. Oh my goodness, I absolutely loved bringing these little characters to life. There's just something within my colorist brain that loves coloring little animals. I just find it so cute. I am still terrified of coloring fur though, so I just stuck with shading these animals. And I don't usually go with such a limited color palette like this. Like, it's pretty much just sort of beiges, oranges, and yellows, but I absolutely love how this came together. If you want to see how I created this background, you can obviously watch that video. And this paper is absolutely stunning. It is perfect for watercolors. It really did hardly warp the page at all. Let's talk about all the supplies I used on this page because there's actually quite a bit. So obviously I used my watercolors. I then based the rest of the elements with my Ohuhu alcohol markers. There's a lot of acrylic marker work on this page as well. Obviously, I either used Artex or Posca. And then the pencil work I did for the clouds and all the little animals is with my Prismacolors. And I probably colored this page the fastest this month, but it's still one of my favorites. So it really goes to show sometimes less is more. So yes, that is my Tiny Forest by stajner. And then the other page I showed in that video is from Spooky by szewczyk. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but I just want to have a go at pronouncing it so that I'm not just not saying it at all. And it is this very vibrant and bold page here. I will admit, for a while there, I thought it wasn't going to turn out, but I am really happy with how it all came together. I actually also planned this page in a different video this month. It was the Procreate versus Color Cube planning video, and you would have seen me plan this page out in that video. It definitely turned out a little bit different to my plans, but like I said, my plans are just a rough starting point, and then often I just go off on my own tangent. Obviously have my watercolor background on this page. I also used Ohuhu alcohol markers to base, my Artex colored pencils, as well as Artex and Posca acrylic paint pen for all of those details. I did end up using my white Prismacolor to just bring out this flying axolotl here, because when I didn't have that white background, I found that it was getting lost within the love heart, so just adding sort of that whiteness around it helped bring it more to the foreground. The only thing I'm not fully happy with is I added little bits of yellow to this crystal up here, and I found that it just, I don't know, it looks a little bit muddy. So if I could go back in time, I'd probably change that, but for the most part, I really love how this page came together. Sometimes I worry that if I outline elements like this, it looks a little bit weird, but I'm really happy that I did outline these flames. I love this little guy here with his little smiley face. And when I first finished this page, I thought, oh, is there too much going on this page? It's a little bit chaotic. But the more that I looked at it, the more that I fell in love with it. So now it's one of my favorites from the month. So that's the page that I did in Spooky by szewczyk. And now we have a page that has been a little bit of a whip for mine for a couple of months now. It is from meine, reise, durch, Afrika by Rita Berman. And I now have one completed page in this book, which is very exciting. That means I have no uncolored Rita Berman books. And it is this page here. I showed how to do the background of this in a video a very long time ago. Okay, not too long ago. It was like 2 months ago. So I'll have that link down below if you want to see how I did this watercolor background. It was done with watercolor pencil and acrylic markers. And if it weren't for that video and this background idea, I don't think I ever would have gotten to this page. But I'm so glad I did. It came together really, really well. I loved this tropical color palette. I created these like almost rose-like acrylic elements because I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but Rita Berman had illustrated these circular swirly-like things that I just didn't know how to color and I wasn't vibing with them, so I just covered them with acrylic markers. And I think they're kind of cute. They add just, you know, a bit of a floral element to the page. A lot of these fruits here, I have no idea what they're supposed to be, so I just kind of ignored their actual colors unless if, you know, I know this is a pineapple and bananas. But most of the time I had no idea what these fruits were going to be, so I just colored them whatever color I felt like. What did I use? So I used my Born watercolor pencils in the background. I believe, yeah, I used Artex colored pencils, my usual acrylic markers, and there's also some gold gel pen on here, as well as some metallic acrylic paint pen. Don't know if you can see it, but it's on there, I promise. Oh yeah, I did an orange glitter gel pen as well, which you can see sort of, I don't know, the seed-like section of this, what I think is some sort of papaya fruit. And there was actually a black border here around this page, but I wasn't vibing with it. I didn't really like it. So my initial plan was to white it out with just white Posca paint pen, as you can see here, and then go over the top with a gold metallic marker. But I ended up really liking how it looked just with the white Posca paint pen, so I ended up just leaving it. So yes, that is my tropical fruit page finally done in Meine, Reise, durch, Afrika by Rita Berman. We now have a finally completed whip in Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford, and this one was also actually in the video I was just talking about, the background for Meine, Reise, durch, Afrika, and I finally completed the page. Oh, there it was. It's this page here. I am fairly happy with how this one turned out. I used so much acrylic marker on this page. The clouds back here are just acrylic marker, and then I also decided, because the hot air balloon was just so patterny and zen doodly and I didn't want to color all of those tiny elements, I decided to just completely color over the top of it with my Artex acrylic markers. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. It's obviously a very different look to colored pencil, but I don't think it's a bad different look. All of the pencil work was done with, was it Prismacolors? Next year, I am setting myself the goal of writing down every supply I use on all of my pages because I get to this point of the video and I forget. It was either my Artex or my Prismacolors. I'm sorry, I cannot remember for the life of me. And what I decided to do was kind of do an inverse of the background for the foreground. So have the purple sky background as the ship color and then have the cloud colors as the hot air balloon. And I'm somewhat happy with how it turned out, but to be honest, I feel like the ship gets lost a little bit. I think it would have been better if I chose a blue color scheme for this down here. I really do like the monochromatic effect, but I think the purple just gets lost a bit. So yeah, that's a lesson learnt situation. I also have a lot of gel pen on this page for these like ropey type things here. You can see kind of here as well for the flowers, these little elements here as well. It's not a favorite page of mine, but I still like it. It's a solid 7 out of 10, I think. Maybe a 6. So that is my completed page from Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford. We now have another previously untouched book which has now been coloured in. This is Magical Woodland by Pellerin, and it is this page here. This page was so intimidating to me. It has all of the elements that I'm absolutely terrified of. Skin, hair, and wood. Those elements always terrify me in a colouring page, so I don't know why I chose this, but I did. And thankfully, Teacups and Art here on YouTube had a little bit of a mini tutorial on how to approach the hair and skin and clothing for this page. I didn't really like follow it to a T, but I really used it as inspiration to help me tackle all of these tricky elements for me, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I based this page with alcohol markers yet again. It is a real theme this month. I did a lot of basing with my alcohol markers, and then I went over the top with my Prismacolors. They worked beautifully on this page, and then I did some watercolor pencil work for the background here. I always see Erica from Elm Colors do this really fun background, so I wanted to add it to this page. And then obviously a lot of Posca paint pen for all of the sparkly details as well. And oh yes, some sparkly glitter gel pen, some golds there, and at the centers of the flowers as well. And I also actually used metallic acrylic marker on, I feel like there were kind of tattoos on this elf-like creature. And I'll try to get it in the light so you can see the metallic shine. I don't think you can. I feel like there is some sort of cartoon out there where the tattoos on the characters glow. I can't remember what it is though. I think I'm imagining of Avatar or something like that. So that's the inspiration I took for the tattoo elements. I don't think these lines here were supposed to be tattoos. I think they were just supposed to be the lines of the character's neck, but anyway, they're tattoos now. I really had no clue on how to color these like curvy elements here. I don't know what to call them, but I think I did all right. I kind of did a dotted texture with my alcohol markers to help fill in that space a little bit and add some more visual interest. And I went for a much sketchier coloring style than I usually do because this book's illustrations are very sketchy. Like it looks like someone's just used some pencil and gone in and made some doodles and illustrations. So I really wanted to, I guess, reflect that illustration style with my coloring style. And I think it's worked together really well. So that is the page that I completed in Magical Woodland by Pellerin. My final 2 completed pages of the month are from Year of Witches by Uusikuuu. The first page is this one here, which I featured in my alcohol marker patterns and textures video, where I showed you a whole bunch of patterns and textures, obviously. And I kind of got the inspiration for this page from Anya. I believe her YouTube channel name is Color Along with Anya. I'm not fully sure. I'll put it on the screen right now. And what she did was have a really vibrant sky on the outside, and then on the inside was more muted. And so I really love that idea, and I use that as inspiration for this page. It's definitely not my usual color palette, which I think is why it's not really a favorite of mine. I really utilized a lot of fun textures and patterns on this page. I did the wood texture down here, as well as this almost terrazzo-like texture for the inside of the carriage. The only thing I'm not super happy with is this frosted glass look that I tried to create. I did this with my white Prismacolor and I don't know what happened. It doesn't look the best. So that's something I'm not super happy with. But everything else turned out pretty well. I based with my alcohol markers, went over the top with my Brute Funas. I think this is going to become my Brute Funa coloring book. The other page I'm about to show you was also done with Brute Funas. And then I didn't use any extra shine on this page, just my white acrylic marker for all of the little highlights and details. I think I'm slowly better at coloring faces and skin and hair. We're getting there, people. We're getting there. And then the other page I decided to color was to kick off my Christmas coloring, and it's this page here. This was my first time trying to color a darker skin tone because I want to make sure that I'm not just coloring light skin tones. I really want to make sure my coloring is diverse. And I know darker skin tones are harder to pull off. I feel like I didn't do too bad, but it definitely does feel a little bit ashy, so I need to work on not making my skin tones as ashy. Yet again, based with alcohol markers, went over the top with my Brute Funas. And then just a lot of acrylic marker details as well. I showed this in my last video and I was like, is this a fireplace? What is this? And one of you let me know that it's actually a fire guard, which I had no idea what that was because we don't really have fireplaces here in Australia. It doesn't get cold enough. So I wasn't really sure how to color this. So I just eventually went with, you know, like there's a fireplace behind this and the light is shining out of it. I've also got a lot of glitter gel pen on this page. If you can see there, here, some silver on the ornaments, as well as on that house there. Sorry, I'm holding it on a weird angle. It's because of my camera. Silver glitter gel pen as well. And I'm choosing not to color the girls the exact same throughout the book because I just want to practice different hair colors and different skin tones. So I'm just pretending that every page is a different set of two witches, I suppose. I did a little bit of a fur texture on this little cat. Still scares me, but we're getting there. So yeah, those are the 2 pages and the final 2 pages that I colored in November from Year of Witches by uusikuuu. Alright, now let's rank those pages from least favorite to most favorite of the month. As I always say, this is not me dragging myself or making myself feel bad. It's more to see what I think my favorite page of the month was and compare it to your favorite of mine because I always find that so fascinating how much it can differ. So in 7th place, I am going to put the Worlds of Wonder page. This is not a bad page whatsoever. I'm just always going to prefer the pages that have more colored pencil work than not. In 6th place, I have the Year of Witches terrain page. And this is just not a favorite of mine because it's not my usual color palette, but I really had a lot of fun with creating the different patterns and textures on that page. In 5th place, we have the meine, reise, durch, Afrika one. This was such a cute little page to color and I love how the color palette came together. In 4th place was the Christmas page from Year of Witches. Need to work on coloring darker skin tones for sure. And then these 3 were really hard to choose between, but in 3rd place I have the Magical Woodland page, the elf fairy creature. And then honestly, these last 2 pages, I feel like they could be tied for 1st place. We have the page from Spooky and the My Tiny Forest page. I'm just really happy with how the backgrounds and the coloring of those 2 came together. If you're just here to see the completed pages section of the video, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. But if you want to hear about my Christmas coloring plans, stick around. If you saw my last video, I went through every Christmas page in my coloring book collection, or pages that I think could be Christmasified, and I really used that video to narrow down my personal coloring plans list for December. I did get a tiny head start by coloring that 1 page in Year of Witches, but I've decided to add 5 pages to my coloring plans list because I think I'm not going to have much time to color at all in December. I do most of my coloring at night, and in December I have a lot of night social events and I'm also working a lot of nights in December as well. So we'll see how much I color at the end of next month / beginning of the new year. And I'm also going to do something a little bit different for this coloring plan section. I've actually chosen 5 palettes from the color cube as well. Whether or not I actually stick to those color palettes, who knows, but I think it'll be fun having some color palettes already picked out for inspiration and also to get me out of my color palette comfort zone because I do tend to stick to those bright, bold colors. All right, let's check out my Christmas coloring plans. Alrighty, so these are the 5 books that I've chosen to color during December. I've chosen 1 page page from each. I'm hoping I'll get to more than these 5, but these are the definite 5 I want to get to. Let's start off with the 2 that I'll definitely be colouring. We're going to start off with Small Victories by Johanna Basford, and I'll definitely be colouring this page here because this is a buddy colour with colouring kit Imogen. We have chosen this page here. I'm doing this in the Christmas season because I want to turn these into like either Christmas villages or almost gingerbread houses. And the colour palette I've chosen is this one here. Yet again, I'll definitely use more colours than just these 5, but I feel like this gives me a really good starting point. I think I'll use the same colour scheme for each sort of village, I suppose you could call them. And I really want to add snow to these little houses as well. I think that'll just really Christmify them up. So that is the first page in my December colouring plans list from Small Victories by Johanna Basford. The second page I'll definitely be colouring is from Johanna's Christmas by Johanna Basford. I obviously have to colour one of these pages, and I'll definitely be colouring this page because I'm actually doing it for my next video on my channel as a bit of a Christmas tutorial, and it's going to be this page here. I've already added some additional elements, these Christmas trees here, and I've also chosen this colour palette from the Sara colour cube. This is number 185. We know I love my bright colour schemes, so this one was definitely sticking out to me, this colour palette. And if I get time, I'd really love to colour, what page is it? This page here, because I saw Barbara Colour do this one and I absolutely loved how she tackled it, so I would love having a go at recreating that. And I really do love this page here as well, but I don't know if I can get to 3 colouring pages from the same book in 1 month. It's a bit much. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to extend my Christmas colouring to January, just the beginning of January, because there's not enough time. So yeah, that is the 1 page and the 2 possible pages that I've chosen from Johanna's Christmas by Johanna Basford. And then this was another must colour in book for the Christmas season because there's just so many cute Christmas colouring pages in this book. I was toing and froing between a lot of pages, but I ultimately decided on this one. Don't hold me to it though, because I'm sure I could possibly colour a different one. But we know I love cats because I've got 2 cats at home, and this just reminds me of them because they're very mischievous, and this cat looks like he's gonna get up to no good with these ornaments on the Christmas tree. So I've chosen this page along with this colour palette here. I'm feeling either colouring the cat black or this orangey salmon colour. I think I'm more leaning towards this one because I do want the page to be fun and vibrant and happy. So that is another planned page for the December period. I'm then bringing out this book again for another month, My Tiny Forest by Nina Steiner, and I'm leaning most towards this page here currently. I really want to go down the frosty route with this one, do a lot of blues, so that's why I chose this palette here, number 151. I think I definitely add in some pinks and maybe some purples as well, just to diversify the color palette a little bit more. I really want to make these Christmas lights glow, and I'm thinking about using this page for my how to color snow video, but I know a lot of people don't have this page, so I don't know if it's a good example of coloring snow. Let me know if you'd like to see a color along for this page. And then this is another possible option on my plans list. I think I'm definitely going to be prioritizing the other one though, because that one can only be colored during the Christmas period, whereas this one could be colored at any time of the year. But I really talked about how you could Christmify this page in my last video, so I won't go on about it again. I feel like you could add a lot of snowy elements to this page as well. So yeah, those are my options in My Tiny Forest by Nina Steiner. And then the final page on my December coloring plans list is from A Million Little Monsters by Lulu Mayo. I know, not a Christmassy book whatsoever, but I spoke about this page in my last video and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. It's this page here. I really can see this one being a Christmas page, even though I wouldn't say it's stereotypically Christmassy, but with the right color palette, which I have chosen a very stereotypical Christmas color palette, I think this could really come to life. I'm definitely not going to stick to just these colors, but these are the greens and reds that I'm imagining. And coloring these lollipops green and red, as well as these little Christmas candies, I think I can create a really cute little Christmas dessert scene. So yes, that is my final page from A Million Little Monsters by Lulu Mayo. And there you have it, my completed pages and colouring plans for this month. As always, let me know what your favourite page of mine was this month. Was it my least favourite page? Was it also my favourite page? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, happy colouring friends. Have a good day, have a good life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!